What's up, guys? Today we're going to be reviewing a video from Austin Dunham's channel, 8 attractive hobbies all guys should learn. Let's check it out and we'll come back and chop it up.
Have you ever been out on a date with a woman and you're asking her what does she enjoy doing? What are some of her hobbies? And you tend to hear the same things over and over. Shopping, beach, hanging out with friends, TikTok, social media, watching TV. They're so boring. And I think when it comes to hobbies, they really define your character and can actually make you very, very attractive. That's why I believe as a man, you should all try to learn some attractive hobbies because it just overall makes you more interesting. So in today's video, I'm gonna go over some attractive hobbies that actually will help enhance your sort of character and personality as a man, all right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now keep in mind, some of these hobbies I am gonna mention in this video are also some things that women have also mentioned that they find attractive within men. Now the goal obviously is not to learn all these hobbies, but I think according to your personality, your vibe, what you're already into, you can find some of these hobbies and maybe start to implement them in your day-to-day life.
All right, fellas, get in where you fit in. Let's go.
And at number 1, we have traveling. We all know women love to travel. They like going out on new experiences. But as a man, if you haven't traveled that much, if you haven't seen the world, or if you generally don't enjoy traveling, then that's fine. But just do understand, if you are a guy who enjoys traveling, that gives you more stories to tell. I know me personally on dates, I always mention how I've been to Barcelona, I've been to Rome, I've been to Paris, I've been to the Middle East, I've been to parts of the United States in which they haven't been, and I can tell stories from my experiences that I gathered in those places. And from there, it just overall makes you look like more of an adventurous and fun guy. Women don't like to be bored. And if you're a guy who enjoys new experiences, that's definitely going to make you look more attractive. Not only that, but traveling shows your ability to provide in some sort of degree, because in order to travel, you either have to have time freedom or financial freedom. Traveling is not a cheap option, guys. Even just going to a weekend trip in Miami will cost you a few $1,000s depending on how expensive you go with the hotels or the drive, gas, all the things that come with just traveling in itself. That's another reason why if you're able to showcase yourself traveling, whether it be on your Instagram or your dating app profiles in exotic locations or unique scenes, that's going to put you in a higher leverage position than most other guys on the platform.
He's right. When women find out I'm ex-military, one of the first questions they ask is, "Oh, for real, where you been? What countries you traveled to?" It opens up a whole new level of conversation if you check out her vibe. So yeah, definitely traveling is helpful. Get your passports, fellas, for a bunch of different reasons.
At number 2, we got cooking. Now, me, myself, I am not a chef by any means, but I do know how to throw down some ground beef, some eggs, and some really, really simple meals. Like I said, you don't have to be a chef by no means whatsoever, but if you are a chef, if you can really throw down, if you can cook different cuisines and follow a recipe, and you have the time to actually learn seasonings, spices, all this stuff, oh my God, bro. The amount of leverage you have is so beyond measure compared to any other guy, because that's so rare. Even me dealing with women, whenever I come across a girl who can actually cook, that immediately makes her so much more attractive. I don't care if she's a 6 or 7. If she can cook, you guys know, I might actually wife her. I just might. Now with cooking too, it's actually pretty easy to follow a recipe. I believe anybody could actually learn how to cook if they put in the work and the effort and the time. You know, with so much information out there, it's not that hard to learn how to cook. But like I said, if you cook a recipe or two, maybe once or twice a week, you cook it for both of you guys too, yeah man, that's gonna put you in the top tier position.
Yeah, I'm no gourmet either, but guys, we all should get our skills up to, at least to the place where we can control our portions and meal prep, because at least that way you're not getting fast food ingredients in your body and you're gonna save a lot of money when you make it yourself. So yeah, work on that, fellas.
At number 3, we got playing a musical instrument. Now this one's pretty interesting because my background is I was in the band. I was in band from middle school to high school, and I played a brass instrument known as the French horn. It's a pretty unique instrument that most people have no idea what it is, but back in those days, it really wasn't cool to be in the band. It wasn't cool to play a musical instrument. But if you're an attractive guy, especially as you grow older and you have the competency to play an instrument, it, all of a sudden they start liking it. I remember a few years ago, I was playing the trumpet on my story because, the similarities between trumpet and French horn is kind of similar. And so I was playing it, I posted on my story. Now all of a sudden I had like 4 or 5 girls swipe up with hard eyes and all this stuff. I'm like, where was this love at back when I was in the band? At that point in time, it just painted you in a lower perceived status. But also I do believe the instrument itself is important. The most attractive ones would definitely be piano and guitar. And also I would say saxophone too. I listen to Kenny G sometimes and I'm like, man, if I knew how to play this as good as Kenny G, best believe I might be romanticizing and seducing women on multiple dates. And I'll just pull out the saxophone as we're sitting on the couch, start playing, and they'll fall in love, man. And you guys know, guitar's a classic one. Pair that with singing, because your voice is also an instrument too. You are definitely, once again, you're in the top tier position, man.
Shout out to all you guys who are musically gifted in any way. Rappers, singers, you guys who play instruments. Man, good Lord, did not give me that. But for those of y'all who can, the ladies love musicians.
At number 4, we got combat sports or learning some sort of martial art. I think this is attractive only because it provides and shows a sense of protection. It shows that you can defend yourself if you need to. And also, it shows that you could potentially protect her, which is overall more attractive than not being able to. But at the same time, if you're like a serious fighter, a guy with cauliflower ear, very aggressive looking face, really high testosterone, this can in some cases actually be a red flag too and turn some girls off because you're a little too intimidating. But most of you guys aren't serious professional fighters out there. But even if you are, if you're boxing casually as an amateur or you go to boxing classes, that can definitely make you look more attractive than not. Plus, when you learn a martial art, you tend to hold a different confidence level about yourself. You kind of walk a little bit taller. You become less afraid of confrontation. Not that you should be confrontational, but in an instance where that is needed, you'll be more likely to stand your ground.
Guys, out of everything Austin said thus far, this one's the easiest to co-sign. I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are. You have got to learn how to use the hands and feet God gave you as weapons because you just don't know where you may need them. We live in a dangerous world full of dangerous people, and women love a man who knows how to handle himself and the swagger that comes with knowing you can handle yourself no matter where you're at. Somebody wants it, they can get it. They can get it real bad. Learn to fight. Be dangerous, my friends.
At number 5, we got photography. So if you notice, a lot of these hobbies are based within creative work, right? The emotional side of things. And in terms of creative work, one of the most popular ones is simply just photography. Whether it be landscapes, portraits, it doesn't matter. You're showing some degree of artistic expression about yourself. And that sometimes also shows a bit of a softer side to you, just taking pictures. I've been into photography since high school. And I remember in college, I was actually taking grad pictures of quite a few women who, wanted me personally to take portraits of them because they saw how I was posting on Instagram. I mentioned to them that, I have a nice camera and all this stuff, and they were actually intrigued by it. I've started plenty of conversations just on the topic of photography alone. You also notice too that some women tend to be in photography themselves, especially if they're more of an artistic girl and they want to showcase their visual expression through the use of a picture.
Never been much of a photographer, but I can draw though. So maybe that's my angle.
Same goes for videography too. At number 6, we got learning a language. Now this is something I have not done, unfortunately, because I just don't have the time, nor do I have the desire to learn a language. But if you know another language outside of English, whether it be your first language or you learned something as you got older, that gives you so much leverage in so many contexts. Even just learning Spanish. Going to South America, I've been to Colombia a few times, and it's really hard to make any sort of connection with people who don't speak the same language as you, even if they know English a little bit. Like, you leveraging that alternate language that you do know just makes you so much more attractive. And plus, especially if a woman only speaks one language, but you could speak Spanish, you could speak French, maybe you know a little bit of German. That overall just shows your intellect too, because learning a new language is not easy. I believe only a certain type of person, probably a higher IQ person who's more smarter and who's more dedicated and all these other positive qualities about themselves, gives them the ability to actually learn that language. And for that reason, it can definitely position you to be more attractive. Now, I don't know if learning languages is necessarily a hobby. Maybe maybe just speaking and practicing foreign languages and teaching it and all that stuff could be considered a hobby, but I don't know anybody who actively practices foreign language for fun. I think that's really rare. And also, whatever is rare is unique, is attractive. So that could be a reason why too.
No lies detected. I've seen my Puerto Rican friends and my friends down in Baton Rouge who speak, well, they speak Creole French, but they still speak French. I've seen these guys kill it on the dating game. It's crazy how women react to it. Foreign language is definitely a tool in your toolbox.
Now at number 7, we got working out. Most of you guys are already doing this. Hopefully you're doing it in the right way though. But I would add in another layer to this, and I would have to say, you already know, doing calisthenics. Being able to do handstands, being able to be really good with your body weight has opened so many doors for me personally, has opened so many connections and conversations, because if you realize the aspect of calisthenics, it stems from a lot of gymnastics, and a lot of women either have done gymnastics in their past as kids, or they're just overall intrigued by it. Even men are intrigued by it too. If you go in the gym and you're ripped and lean, you can bust out a few handstands, you look really proficient and competent with your body weight. That just makes you a lot different than everybody else. That sets you in the top 1%. And I'm a true testament to actually experiencing this in real time. I actually made a whole video on this called Why Calisthenics Will Get You Laid almost 7-8 years ago. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, it definitely has. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Ex-Navy can confirm. Calisthenics and weight training combined got me into the best shape of my life, the best shape I've ever been in. And the one thing I love about calisthenics is the fact that, number one, they're dirt cheap because they're free. You can do them anywhere, even if you ain't got no money. You can go down to the local play park and do it on the monkey bars. You can do push-ups, bodyweight squats, and other things like that in the living room floor, right in between commercials while you're watching your favorite show. You will be yoked. And you will see the results quickly because you're pushing your own body weight. Fellas, never underestimate the power of calisthenics, and your waistline will thank you.
Now for a bonus at number 8, I'm gonna say making money. Having a skill set that makes you money or gets you paid, whether it be cooking, photography, videography, anything we literally just talks about. If it actually also makes you money at the same time, that's just like a bonus and cherry on top. I mentioned in the past video how video games are unattractive, but if you're actually making money from it through streaming or through just playing any game and you have attention on you for playing video games, that can actually make you more attractive. So sometimes it's not necessarily the hobby itself, but if you're getting paid from doing that hobby in itself, yeah, that's actually impressive. Even when starting content in a YouTube channel, whenever they see my plaque in the back, whenever they see all my YouTube awards or maybe my follower or subscriber count, it's like, how did you do that? That's very impressive. And honestly, it started as a hobby for me. I didn't plan this to go anywhere at all back when I started posting content 10 years ago. It all kind of just happened by accident, but I enjoyed it, and that hobby became my profession, and I still have a passion towards it, which makes it a perfect trifecta. Passion, hobby, and profit. So if you combine all those 3 things through finding a hobby that you personally enjoy, then that is the top tier, max, most attractive hobby any man can learn. Let me know down below what hobbies you're actually doing right now and the ones you enjoy most. Subscribe and like if you're new, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Hey, shout out to Austin Dunham, man. He's been a YouTuber forever. He's been modeling, self-help books, all kinds of things. Brother's doing his thing. And he gave us some great information today, fellas. If you have a hobby, as he mentioned, that you can monetize, by all means, use that as a source of extra income. It may become something that you do so well, it surpasses your current 9 to 5. You can put that behind you. Pay all your bills off to zero balances and live life to the fullest. Doing it something you already love to do anyway. So yeah, I'll leave a link to his information and his channel down below. Pin it to the top comment. Stop by, say hi, and tell him I sent you. With that said, that's my time. Like the video, comment down below. Share with a friend and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth can set him free. Networkers, we working. Until next time.